You'd think the deadliest civil war in human history would start with politics, oppression, dynasties. Nope. It started with one man's bad grades and a bruised ego. Meet Hong Xiuquan, born in 1814 to a poor Hakka family in Guangdong. Smart, ambitious, and dead set on passing the imperial exams to climb the social ladder. But those exams, brutal. Millions sat for them. Only a sliver passed. Hong failed. Not once, not twice, but 3 times. After the third flop, he snapped. He fell seriously ill for 40 days, slipped into delirium, and claimed he had visions of heavenly beings. In those visions, a golden-haired old man handed him a sword and told him to slay demons. Beside him stood an elder brother figure, and, in a twist straight out of divine drama, Hong even said he saw Confucius getting punished by this celestial father for leading people astray. But he wasn't done. In 1843, determined to try one last time, Hong took the imperial exam for the 4th and final time and failed again. That was the breaking point. Only then did he finally sit down and reread a set of Christian missionary pamphlets he had received years earlier. And suddenly, it all made sense. The old man, God, the elder brother, Jesus Christ, and Hong, apparently the divine little brother of Jesus himself, sent to cleanse China of demons, starting with the Manchu Qing. 3 years later, he tried to study the Bible with an American Baptist missionary, who promptly refused to baptize him, later saying Hong's theology was completely off the rails, and that his followers were just bent on making their burlesque religious pretensions serve their political purpose. Hong's response, classic Bitter King energy. He declared those Western missionaries false prophets, and he was the real divine messenger. On January 11, 1851, Hong declared himself the heavenly king of the heavenly kingdom of peace, the Taiping Tianhua. And with that, he created his own remix of Christianity, part Protestantism, part Confucianism, part fever dream. No crosses, no clergy, no baptism, just him, divine authority, and a holy war to launch. He preached equality between men and women, as long as they lived strictly separated, banned opium, idols, foot binding, alcohol, gambling. Basically, no fun, and promised communal land and moral salvation. And honestly, in a country choking on corruption, famine, and addiction, it worked. Peasants flocked to him in droves. Oh, and the Qing, who had once called foreigners barbarians. Now they were begging them for help. So yes, Chinese fought Chinese, while foreigners picked a side and helped crush a rebellion they barely understood. So why did the West side with the Qing? After the Opium Wars, the dynasty was weakened, pliable, humiliated, and open to negotiation. A Qing collapse would mean chaos. And the Taiping? Too radical, too unpredictable. No crosses, no priests, no trade guarantees. Just a man who claimed he was Jesus's kid brother. The West took one look and said, absolutely not. By 1853, Hong's forces had seized Nanjing, renamed it Tianjing, heavenly capital, and crowned him the heavenly king. He ruled from a grand palace, issued divine proclamations. Women fought in his army. Foot binding was outlawed, but his so-called utopia? Not so peaceful. Internally, his generals, especially Yang Xiuqing and Wei Chonghui, tore each other apart in violent power struggles. Geographically, the rebellion dominated southern and central China, starting in Guangxi, capturing Nanjing, and spreading through Jiangsu, Anhui, Hunan, and parts of Sichuan and Zhejiang. It never made it north to Beijing, but it shook the empire to its core. So why didn't it push north? Hong was Hakka, a minority group often sidelined by Han elites. The south was poorer, more desperate, and bursting with young men who, like Hong, had failed the imperial exams. He offered them not just rebellion, but rank, status, and purpose. But not everyone bought in. Confucian traditionalists saw his vision as heresy. The rural gentry hated the gender segregation, the anti-Confucian tone, and the whole "God chose me" energy. So the landowning elite? They stayed loyal to the Qing, out of self-preservation. Then came the blood. In Hunan, a Qing loyalist wrote about Taiping forces chanting as they massacred Manchus, men, women, and children. After taking Nanjing, the Taiping army allegedly killed 40,000 Manchu civilians. Another 10,000 were slaughtered in Changzhou. This wasn't just rebellion, it was ethnic cleansing. But the Qing weren't saints either. After recapturing Nanjing in 1864, they unleashed savage revenge. In Guangdong, where many Taiping were Hakka, up to 1 million people were executed. Some accounts claimed 30,000 killed per day at the height of the purges. Whole villages vanished. Entire provinces turned to wastelands. While his people starved, Hong stayed holed up in his palace, preaching divine visions and insisting they didn't need food, they needed faith. Forget rice. God would provide manna eventually. Toward the bitter end, rumors say his court was starving, and soldiers may have turned to cannibalism to survive. In 1864, Hong Xiuquan died from illness, poison, or suicide. Take your pick. His teenage son, dubbed the Young King, tried to carry on, but was captured and executed soon after. 14 years, 20 to 30 million dead. So yes, the empire-shattering rebellion that almost toppled the Qing started because one man couldn't pass an exam and decided God had a personal hotline just for him. The moral of the story? Never underestimate a bitter man with a failed dream, a bruised ego, and a Bible he rewrote himself.